After primary and secondary sources, another method which is used applied for data collection, that is the reasoning method or logical reasoning. Basically, no fact occurs incidentally or in vacuum. Every fact has the concern with the other fact. Any such problem which is studied by the researcher for his research purpose, he should collect the data and information for the research after analyzing the logical relationship of that information with the existing problem, theory or phenomena. For establishing that relation between the problem and data collected, therefore, it required the reasoning, legal reasoning, rational reasoning. That means the decision or the logic applied, reason given or any argument given for the admissibility or rejection of any information should be good. Every incident, fact or transaction has the correlation with other facts. Such relation can be established only by establishing the logical relationship. If researcher wants to establish any causal relationship between two variables, he must have to go for logical analysis and understanding, so that he can decide what information is relevant in the matter or what is not. If researcher has no logical answer to establish the relationship, he should not consider that data for the research purpose, because that information has no reliability and validity. The logical reasoning does not come from the quantity of data, it comes from the quality of data, which can establish the sound and logical relationship between the data and the hypothesis or the problem thereof. On this basis, on the basis of legal reasoning, there are three common patterns or approach of reasoning. One is inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, and third, which is the derivative of these two, that is abductive reasoning. This third method has been recently introduced in the research field. The first approach, inductive reasoning, is used as a method for decision taking, for collecting any data. This is the inductive method. Inductive is a reasoning proceeding from particular facts to general conclusion. This is a way to make sense, to think by making a spatial observation of facts and drawing a conclusion based on those observations. Observation of relevant facts from fragmented data of facts, and after collecting those data, certain idea or general principle which can be formed for the research problem, that is the inductive. Or in the easy way, we can say that where the researcher has no previous knowledge, experience as to what data is required, whatever information or fact come across to him in the course of data collection, he has to decide, induce that information for his problem, and after establishing the logical relationship of that fact with the problem or principle, he comes to form any theory, principle, or to form any assumption. This inductive reasoning starts from the data collection, Second state is the data analysis, and after analyzing the data, any theory can be propounded. This reasoning method is applied where researcher does not possess the basic knowledge as to the problem, where he is not able to form any working theory, principle or assumption. Then he moves to induce approaches. In such cases, the researcher usually form the null hypothesis or research question rather than going with any research hypothesis, because research hypothesis always asserts the relationship which can be verified by the other evidences collected therefore. After collection of data, if any pattern emerges which suggests the relationship of variables between the variables, such observation can be used to construct any possible generalization. Relationship can be beneficial to construct any theory or philosophy. Through inductive method, the researcher move towards discovering new theory or principles which is verified for further research work or further operational purpose. This theory comes after the observation of facts, and reasoning process applied for this data collection approach is called the inductive reasoning. After inductive reasoning, there is another approach, that is the deductive reasoning. Deductive method is contrary to inductive method, where the researcher is already acquainted with the research problem. He has certain evidences to form any assumption, certain theory or proposition exists for him which can guide his research towards a particular direction, or where he collect the data on the basis of the form hypothesis. That is the deductive method. Selection of data from innumerable facts in this world is a very difficult task. For making research easier, it is better that certain indicators can be formed on the basis of possessed knowledge, theory or principle. Therefore, on the basis of experience or knowledge, some theoretical approach, idea or assumptions are already prepared by the researcher, which are reflected in the hypothesis formed by him. Under focus of hypothesis, certain indicators or key terms are determined by the researcher. Those key terms and indicators are used to search data relating to research problem in hand. Deductive method moves towards the hypothesis testing or principle confirmation or rejection. Ordinarily, hypotheses are structured to establish the correlation between two variables, facts or concepts. And this deductive method suggests the way of investigating the facts in the light of such hypothesis. In the deductive method, it is predetermined that what data is required to be investigated for the particular research, and on the basis of that investigation, the concept of relationship is approved or disapproved by the research. In this method, the research starts with the theory, and that theory predicts as to the existence of the relationship between the variables. By this research, the data is tested to prove or disprove such relationship of variables. For deductive reasoning, certain concepts, elements are necessarily to proceed with this reasoning, that is experience, knowledge, theories and hypothesis. On the experience, certain knowledge or gatheration of the information, certain knowledge is formed. With the synthesis of experience and knowledge, any hypothesis can be propounded, and that hypothesis is the directive to collect the data for research. This is all the deductive reasoning.